Welcome to the Liverpool Connection podcast. I'm Julian. I'm here with Rob Hayward. I'm here with Glenn Cooley, and we are talking about the Premier League, which is coming back, thank goodness, after this mid-season break for the World Cup. We're going to talk about the top six, how it's gone so far, what our predictions are for going into the second half of the season. For context, the table at the moment going back into the season is Arsenal on top, Man City second, Newcastle third, Tottenham fourth, Man United fifth, Liverpool sixth. Glenn, I'll start with you. What are you thinking?
So I tell you what, let's go through our big rivals first. If we go for City, from this point on, I think I can't see anyone else winning the league other than City. They don't have that many players. I know it's one thing that we've said as well. Not that many players going to the World Cup and things like this, but they've not really had that many players gone that far into the tournament as well. I think it's only Alvarez that made it to the semi-final from City. So I think I could be bollocks. So I think second half of the season, when it kicks back off again, I think they'll they're going a bit of a run, and I do fancy Man City to kick on and win the league quite comfortably, maybe 7, 8, 10 points. What do you reckon?
Rob? I'm just going to give my halfway through season review of the teams, what they've done so far. Yeah, I know. Finally got there. Finally get there. Arsenal, very, very good. Man City, very, very good. Newcastle, very, very good. Tottenham, shite. Man United, shite. Liverpool, shite. That's my real technical breakdown of how the season's gone.
Sounds good night then, everyone.
Thanks. All right.
Let's go. I'm going to start Arsenal. I'm going to go to Arsenal because I'm going to jump in there before Julian fucking Lane, because Arteta's a really good manager.
Good manager.
We're just going to forget about City then. Just going to forget about that 2 minutes.
Because Arsenal are top of the league right now. That's why we're going there.
Oh, fuck off.
But this is why, going back to your very, very good, very good shy. I wouldn't say Man City have been very, very good. I think Man City haven't been great.
They haven't been Man City good.
Right.
But they're very good in comparison. If they go Man City good, they win the league, like Glenn says, by 10 points. But I'm going to start at the top of Arsenal, who've surpassed expectations this year after a ghastly eighth finish, and a fifth finish under your much feted Arteta. So they're above where they should be.
They are.
But Man City, if you bet against Man City, you're a fool.
100%. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think you look at Man City, I don't think have been great this season, but they're still second, right? They're still second in the league, and they're only 5 points behind
as well.
Arsenal, I would have been more confident, but now Jesus is out for a while, which is a huge blow because he's integral to the way they play. Even though he hasn't got the goals, he's almost their Firmino, right? The way he plays, the way he sets up the team from the front to the back, and him being out, I think, is a huge blow for Arsenal. And how Arteta replaces him and changes him is going to be integral. It's going to be key. It's going to be huge for them.
Yeah, it's hard having Jesus out over Christmas.
Yes. Yeah. He couldn't have picked a better time, huh? But
so they need the second coming around Easter, right?
Oh, yeah, tell you what. It's interesting with Arsenal. Do you think they'll go big in transfer in January?
I think they will.
Who will they get? What position? What position would they go for? I'm guessing centre forward would be
centre forward. Yeah, I think centre forward would be.
That's going to be their drawback, is their depth of their squad.
Yeah,
they don't have a lot. Their starting 11 is very effective, but if you scratch beneath the surface, there's not a lot more backup. And considering Arteta has spent $500 million over the last 4 years, that's probably a worry. It'll be very interesting to see where they end up.
I think And this is where I think they'll fall off. Now they're getting, obviously with the Europa League, will be starting again in February, and then you're doing Thursday, Sunday. It's all right when you're playing against a bunch of mugs, but then when you're playing against teams that are half decent, it'd be interesting to see what they do, whether they go for it.
You'd think if they're still well in the title race, they're going to go for the league and just
it's not even
bin Europa off as much as possible.
You would have
it's
thought
difficult with the travel of the squad. It really disrupts everything.
That's the thing. That is it. Because if you're having to play Thursday night in, I don't know, I was going to say, first two countries that come in my head with Russia and Ukraine, which fucking it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. But if you're playing against someone, half decent, and you're having to travel there, and you're having to go through the whole preparation and whatever, and then you're having to come back, and then you're playing West Ham away or whatever. It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, messes up your preparation, and preparation is so. I don't think we realise what prep goes into. I mean, Klopp, if we play a 12 o'clock game on a Saturday, he has them train at 12 o'clock on the Friday. He has them exactly that same kickoff time for the start of training the day before and a couple of days before. That's the sort of detail these clubs go into. So knocking that rhythm away is a big thing when you're that top percentage.
So what about the team in third at the moment, Newcastle, going down to them? How do we feel about them this season? To me, even though we know about the big takeover, we haven't seen the massive amount of spending, which is probably a good move because they're taking their time and doing it wisely. But I am surprised they're in third when you look at the team and you look at the players they have, which is huge credit to Eddie Howe. But what's your thoughts on that?
What a job he's done. Like you say, they haven't spent billions upon billions as most people they're going to go on every player in a row. He's just taken a lot of the same players, put belief in them, put some structure around how they play, and turned them into a very good team with probably three or four additions and a bit of experience in someone like Trippier, and bought very smart, very shrewd. But I suppose that ties in with Newcastle. They've never been a massively flash outfit. They've always had some very, very good players, but you wouldn't class them as a bunch of dicks like Chelsea, would you?
I think I agree that the amount of players he signed, like they signed the keeper. This keeper's been really good for them. The centre back's been really good, Botman. Isaac, he got injured, didn't he? But when he played against us, he looked like a real player. It'd be interesting to see what they do.
And Almiron's been fantastic.
Yeah, he's been class. But they've not got that. They've not got that European games now, so they are going to have that. They're going to have that extra time. Interesting to see that, because if you think like Chelsea going through like a transition, Man United are
again,
Tottenham are you don't know what you're going to get from them, and then sort of we don't know what's going to happen with us either. So they could, if you could see them maybe going and getting maybe one or two more players, and you could maybe see them sneaking in the top four, which is petrifying, really, because if they get in the top four going into next year, it's going to be a nightmare.
It's great. I think it's great for the game.
No, I don't.
Why?
Just because the amount of money they'll have next year. Now, like if you're a half decent player, like
same as Man City have for the last 5 years.
Pardon?
Same as Man City have had for the last 5-10 years.
But hang on a minute, Man City won the league 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
What are you going on about? Newcastle. What I'm saying is,
I think it's good. It's good competition. Because at the moment, Man City are the ones who can just go and spend willy-nilly. They need someone to compete with them and bring them down a peg or two.
Well, we've been doing that. We've been competing with them every year.
Yeah, and we need help doing that. This is what I'm saying. Not just having one club going up against them. I mean, two or three clubs coming up against them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we need another City. Fucking hell. But my
that's where it's going to go. Everybody's going to have to be a City to keep up. That's just the fact.
If you see, obviously the Man United owners are selling, Liverpool owners apparently are selling. So I think you're going to see,
we hope.
Hopefully, because
Hopefully.
Man City are not going anywhere. They're just going to continue to spend. Their owners seem like they're going to stay. So what's better? Man City just continue to win the league pretty much every season with us, maybe every so often, or 3 or 4, 5 teams making it more competitive, which would be in my favour, 100%.
Yeah, and that's what we need. The only reason Man City have had any kind of competition is because of one person. And his name is Jurgen Klopp, being a genius. I'm not going to say turning rags to riches, but punching above what he should have done with the resources he's had in comparison to a lot of clubs.
Tottenham. So Tottenham are in 4th spot at the moment. I think they'll be the ones to drop out. I think they're a
pathetic joke of a club with a terrible mentality, an entitled mentality. They're not a big club. They haven't been a big club in my lifetime. They've had some great players, but they've won fuck all.
And it's such a weird
bullshit and masquerade as a big club as a joke. And
weird, amazing. I guess
Daniel
as well,
Levy's a genius to get them into that position. A genius.
A club with brilliant marketing, because if I grew up in London and Tottenham were one of the big clubs, like you'd hear about. Oh, Tottenham were a big club, and Arsenal were a big club, but Tottenham were like, and then you'd look at their trophies. And it's like,
FA
really?
Cups back
Tottenham?
But load of FA Cups back in the day. They masqueraded into a Champions League final. But what else have they had in the last 40 years? When was the last time they won anything?
They won a pre-season Toyota trophy, didn't they? And that's it.
Magic.
No, they won the Carling Cup.
Let's get a parade going for them.
They probably would have one. Yeah.
When was that?
The Carling Cup, they won it in about 2003, 2004, maybe.
2003? And we're
Ramos.
talking about it as a big fucking club.
No, I'm not saying that. But he's just talking about winning in the Total Cup. But anyway, will he get sacked by the end of the year? Yeah.
Not his pay. I'd be surprised if his payoff. I think he's more likely he'll quit the way he is and just not even take the money. I don't know, or some agreement. I don't know how it's going to end up, but I would say I would be surprised if he's there next season. I'll leave it.
I mean, it's not a long-term solution, and everybody knew that.
Yeah, he's a 2-3 years max.
He's a second coming of Mourinho, eh?
Yeah.
He'll come in, he'll get a job done, and try to get you that in the real short term. But long term, you're not going to build success around it.
Yeah.
It's not his discredit. It's just his style, and you've got to not go in with your eyes wide open when you get someone like that in as manager, right? It's not a project manager. I'm going to win, or I'm going to destroy you.
So, 5th spot, Man United. Now this could go a really bad way with us being Liverpool fans. Now that Ronaldo's gone, it's probably going to help them because they do look a lot. They did, and they have looked a lot better without him. There's still work to be done at Man United, but they certainly look at a better overall team without Ronaldo, and with that influence, which obviously turned into a bad influence behind the scenes and on the pitch, that might help them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were to hang on and stay in top 4. What do you think?
And they got Europe.
Yeah, they got Barcelona in the Europa League.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Playoff.
Yep. It's hard to say with them, isn't it?
I think he's done well.
Yeah. He has. Yeah. It's horrible to say.
Well. Yeah, but I just think he's got a lot of thing in the bank, hasn't he? He's got a lot of credit in the bank the way he's done it, the way he, excuse me, everything's banned out with Ronaldo. I think it's only looked good for him. But no, I wouldn't be surprised if it's difficult. It really is difficult to know who's going to make that jump in the second half, because it seems like there's a few teams that it could go tits up or they could really push on. And I think they're
United could push on. I think
they could do, but
I think this month off.
You said before about squads, though, mate. They're quite short. I mean, excuse me, Martial was pretty much done at Man United, and now he's coming on the other day to try and win, save them and win it. Well, not other day, but they need one more. They need more. Obviously,
he's a
Ronaldo
strange player,
well.
Martial, isn't he?
Yeah,
ability in droves, but just no consistency. I don't think he wants it. Doesn't want it enough, does he? I think he listened to too much hype in his younger years, and he's one of those players who just never fulfilled that potential.
What's been interesting about Man United, at least the month before the World Cup start, was like Rashford seemed to have rediscovered like the form that he had maybe a few seasons back, and he showed that a little bit for England during the World Cup. He showed his quality. So Rashford is a player that might push on, and the Ronaldo thing, him being out of the pictures, might help him as well. But yeah, I'm in agreement. I think Man United might. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to get into that competitive top four. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's disgraceful how Ronaldo handled it, but in a perverse way, it might have been the best thing that could have happened to Man United.
Oh, yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
So it's strange how him being a dick to them is really going to benefit them.
Yeah.
I still think, though, they are short. They're short up front. They're short in midfield. I think the goalkeeper's crap as well.
They're short in centre defence as well. I mean, that lad is only like 5'4".
Yeah, but he's unbelievable.
He's a good defender, though, isn't he?
He's unbelievable.
He didn't get that joke. He didn't get that joke, did he? Saying they're short over the pitch, and I come up with an absolute cracker of a 5'4" joke. Fucking hell, man! Keep up. You're coughing all your brains out. Coughing your sense of humour away there, lad.
So we go right. So Man United 5th, and then Liverpool 6th. Obviously,
we're going to talk about Liverpool.
Extremely. We are. We should. We need to talk about Liverpool a little bit. We need to touch on Liverpool.
Well, 1 second then. I know they're not technically in the top 6, but I want to just very quickly touch on Chelsea before we do us.
Let's go Brighton if you go in there. By the way, I love Brighton. I love Brighton. I think what a fantastic place and a fantastic style of play.
Yeah,
absolute respect to them.
Chelsea, do you think Potter will survive the season?
I hope so. I think he's a great coach.
Yeah,
but that's a toxic environment.
With the new owner, club. With that new owner, I think he will. I hope
so. I hope
the owner will want to do things. I think the owner will want to do things differently and not be a Roman clone and get rid of the manager. I think he'll get the season.
I think that owner's a bit mental, to be honest. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background as well for Chelsea, where apparently there's like, from the recruitment side and like the executives and whatever, they've brought in so many different people.
Did Potter make a mistake going there?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Now put yourself in his shoes, though.
Oh, would I take it? Yeah,
you're
of course.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're going to take that next step up, right? Where are you going to go?
You're going to make that mistake every single time.
Yeah.
If you're him.
Yeah.
I think he had to go there, right? I mean, Potter, he's been at Brighton for a while. Has proved himself, done a really good job. What's the next step up? Where'd you go?
I mean, he's not going to go to Arsenal.
You don't go to Aston Villa, do you?
Tottenham would have been the one. But how long's that job going to be until? I mean, we think end of the season, but there's no guarantee that you've got a guaranteed top club coming in for you. What you can do? Oh, I'm not going to hold off in case Tottenham come along. Who would you rather go to, Tottenham or Chelsea?
Yeah, he made the right move.
But it's totally different though. It's totally different because.
Who would you rather go to? Answer that question. If you're grandpa, who would you rather manage?
It's totally different. One, you're going into Chelsea where they've just got a new owner. They've just been bought a load of random players.
Who would you rather go to?
Who would I rather go to? I'd probably say if I knew I was going to.
You have the choice of Chelsea or Tottenham. Who are you going?
I'd say.
You got Chelsea.
It's not that close, right?
Tottenham are just a farce of a club.
Yeah, but they're not a farce of a club, really.
They are.
What I mean is you're going to get time at Tottenham. You're not going to get any time at Chelsea.
Oh, fabulous. If I'm going to have time, I'm just going to stick with Brighton. I'm going to win just as much with Brighton as I'm with Tottenham.
Yeah, but Tottenham have been playing in Champions Leagues. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Brighton is still going to win as much as Tottenham. Playing in Champions League is one thing, but winning things is something totally different.
It
Probably
is, but
more
at
chance
Chelsea,
of winning a cup with Brighton.
But at Chelsea have had 20 managers in 20 years.
Yeah. Who would you rather manage, Chelsea or Tottenham?
And if you're a Potter
who's
type
more
manager,
successful,
yeah, but
Chelsea or Tottenham?
if you're a Potter type manager, it's like a Carlo Ancelotti or a Mourinho or whatever. Where like literally, at Chelsea you've got.
All right,
like,
so I'm looking in the mirror saying, "Oh, I'm only Graham Potter. I can only go to Tottenham because they'll give me time."
It's hard though, right? Because
you know what I'm trying to say.
It depends on what you want to do as a manager and what obviously then it comes down to what you get given, what money wise, because you could easily say that Tottenham would be a good choice essentially because as a manager, this club hasn't done well, right? This club is a brand new stadium. This club has some fantastic players. They have a great fan base, and I can be the one that maybe can take them to this next level. This is a great project. That's one point of it. The Chelsea point is, okay, they have the money, right? They have the fan base. They win trophies. I can go in there and kind of, and get the job done and add my stamp on it. So it's two very different clubs, right? Mentally, from what you're going to
mentally,
pick.
Chelsea are winners, Tottenham are losers.
Right. That's exactly my point. So as a manager, it's like, oh, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do something that all these other managers haven't done for decades, right? Why can't they do that at Tottenham is the bigger question, because Tottenham have spent money. They really have. They've probably got one of the best stadiums in the country now as well. They do have like they pack it out with fans. So it is weird. Tottenham is a very strange club with the amount of fantastic managers, like world-class managers they've had, and how many world-class players they've had. For how little they have won is kind of shocking, really.
How many good players have Tottenham got?
I'm talking. I know I said had like for the past 30, 40 years.
They've never had a great team. They've always had some exceptional individuals.
I mean, they had the team with like Lineker and Gaza and Waddle and whatnot. I mean, they had some good. They've had some good teams.
Players.
They've had some
fabulous
great
players.
Gary Mabbutt was one of their best centre backs. They've had some good teams. Tottenham.
That Pochettino team was brilliant. It was brilliant.
Well, the Kane factor fucked that up.
What?
The Kane factor fucked that up.
Yeah. That's the strange thing I said about Harry Kane.
No.
He has to have a team built around him.
You know what? Jermaine Jenas, I don't know if you saw it, said something the other day about all the games.
Yeah, he's a fucking idiot. He's an idiot.
Did you see that?
I'm a fucking idiot as well, because 100%. I said that before I heard the link from Jermaine Jenas that Julian sent me.
Yeah,
it's bollocks though.
But it's not bollocks. It's a fact.
What has Harry Kane won? Name me one thing Harry Kane has won.
What does that mean?
Don't give me a fucking golden boot.
Well, yeah.
What's he won?
What does that? What has that got to do? What's Alan Shearer won? Alan Shearer's won one Premier League. Premier League.
More than Harry Kane,
right? But he's still not finished his career. He could have went to Man City last year. He would have won loads. It's just a ridiculous point. Like what Julian Jenas was saying was absolutely ridiculous. He's not a big game player. That's what you were saying.
He's not a big game player. Go through it, Julian. You pulled up the list of who he scored against in England.
When it matters, when we look to the goals he scored for England, and yes, he scored a lot of goals, right? He's got the tied record.
San Marino.
But most of them are again, and of course we play a lot more games now internationally as well, which adds to it. But the fact is, when it matters, when it really counts, Harry Kane has not performed. He has not performed in these moments.
For who?
For England.
Tell us when he has performed then.
Or Spurs.
When he has performed. Look at the Champions League final. Look at the Champions League semi-final. That was nothing to do with Harry Kane. That was Lucas Moura who dragged them there. It wasn't Harry Kane.
One, he never played in the semi-final. And the final, he wasn't fit. And he wasn't fit. So does that mean?
And so why did they start? Because his ego is so big they couldn't do without it. And that's the problem with Harry Kane.
Well, that should have been the manager then, and said, "No, we're not going to play him. He's not fit." Like it's just a ridiculous comment.
He dominates. It's not ridiculous.
It is ridiculous comment because he never played the semi. He never played the quarter. That's what Jenas was saying. Jenas was saying, "Oh, We never
Wait,
played before.
okay, you name somewhere where he has done it in a big game. When's he done it in a big game?
He does it for fucking your mob.
When's in a big game?
All the time. He does it for
When's
your
he done
mob
it?
all the time. But you're a gang
Who's
of fucking
my mob?
idiots. You can't fucking see it.
Who's my mob?
Fucking England.
Against San Marino.
Again, mate, he just scored the other day against France.
Tell me.
He just scored against France the other day.
A penalty. I can score a penalty.
He also fucks it
time.
up when it really, really mattered as well.
Pathetic.
Yeah, that's absolutely not.
How? Because he missed the penalty. Come on, you're fucking being soft
He
here.
scored a penalty.
He scored one.
a penalty.
Right.
Who's the best penalty taker in the country?
James Milner.
That's nice. Who's the Julian? Is he a Brentford player? Is he that one?
Oh, Tony.
Ivan Tony.
Yeah. So why didn't he? Could he have done the same? Could he have scored two in that game?
Mate, come on. You're talking fucking shit. No, you are. You're talking bollocks.
Absolutely
because he's a good
not.
penalty taker. So would you have Tony over him?
So what else did Harry Kane do in that game?
He was fucking brilliant. He had the defender run ragged. You had Upamecano ran ragged.
Did he?
Honestly.
You must have been watching a different game to me.
So he didn't play well then? He didn't play well in that game, Kane?
I'm not saying he didn't play well. I'm saying he didn't make a difference at the sharp end of the pitch. It was where he earned his money.
Okay, he didn't.
The World Cup. The last World Cup. England, Croatia.
Rakitic.
Harry Kane played, didn't show up, right? The Euro final. Harry Kane played. Didn't show up.
Score. No, he didn't score. You're a fucking idiot. He didn't show up.
England, France.
Show up.
Misses the penalty that counts.
He's a fucking difference.
He has had opportunities in major games and he has not, factually, he has not delivered, right? He's a good player. He's a very good player. Don't get me wrong. But is he the player that is going to take Spurs to that next level? And is he the player that's going to get England to that next level? Because at the moment,
Spurs is shit and so fucking England. So how can you fucking say that? Spurs is shit and so England.
The common denominator is Harry Kane.
They're both shit. Okay. Spurs have not won anything for fucking 40 years, you've just said, right? And England haven't won anything for fucking 50 years, right?
And he's part
of that. It's not fucking on him, is it?
Maybe he's part of the problem.
Kane.
No, because you're saying it's because of Harry Kane. It's fucking not because of Harry Kane. England have done fuck all for 50 years. They've had well better players than what they've got now. And Spurs have been fucking hump our whole life. So what the fuck are you talking about? You're chatting shite.
I think I go with it.
By the way,
I think he's a big problem. He's a problem.
Reece James is also a better right back than Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, sound.
Let's see how you go on that one.
All right, let's get this back on track.
He's not a better footballer. He's a better right back.
So
there's
Chelsea.
A difference there.
Do we think Chelsea are going to get in the top four? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Glenn?
No.
All right.
No.
So finally, we move on to Liverpool. Bad start, as we know, to the season. Considering how bad it's been, we're in not bad shape, really, considering. So what do we think from here? We have Jota's out, Diaz is out for 3 months, which isn't good. So
can I ask you a question?
No, 1 second before we do that though. 1 second, minute, Rob. 1 second. But Julian, we got a new club doctor.
Thank goodness.
Fucking hell.
Thank goodness. He's made a blinding start, hasn't he?
All right.
Apparently he's got Arthur Mello fit though. So we have a new midfielder. So yeah, well done.
Yeah. Is this a podcast where I'm allowed to be real, or do I have to paint a pretty picture?
No, you can be as real as you want.
All right, we've for the most part we've been shocking this season. Why have we been shocking? Answer that.
No, go ahead. Carry on. This is good.
No, I want to hear your thoughts before I absolutely rant.
I think it's not like that thing of a question, is it? Why we've been shocking? There's loads of factors, isn't it?
What are the main ones?
Main ones, I would say the hangover of last year. I think of getting so
psychologically.
Close. Yeah, I think the whole thing.
Yeah, I agree. I said that. Physically, it's a tough one.
Physically, psychologically,
I think
say that word.
So you'll probably cough when you say it as well.
And then the fact of the way when the season started, the amount of little injuries that we kept picking up, it was just just insane, wasn't it? And then just certain players.
Do you think that's a Klopp effect?
I don't know. I've not seen it I've not seen it this bad for muscle injuries.
What I mean, you know what I mean by the Klopp effect, right?
What do you mean?
I mean, these lads have, for the last 4 or 5 years, have played 50, 60 games a season. High intensity, high press, very little rest in between. And at some point, if you drive a Ferrari at 150 miles an hour, you're going to have some mechanical issues, right? And is that because we've been just driving these lads without, and it's never ever been a really big squad, and that's Klopp's doing. He always wants to keep a tighter squad, right? So is that this now like the Klopp effect? And I'm not digging into Klopp. I'm just saying, is this a byproduct of the way he runs his ship?
When you can't bring a Skoda in like Arthur Mello and expect that's going to fit into the Porsche or the Ferrari, you know. But
yeah,
it's part of it. I mean, this. Do you look at that?
Clowns who say we're.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, clowns who said we've had loads of investment into the squad as well, and we've refreshed it. We really haven't to the level that it needed, and there's with the amount of games we've been playing. I mean, we've got some real good youngsters coming, but to me, that's not investment. Where at the level you need players to come in who are ready to go straight into that first team, no runway. They can just bang, ready to go. Whereas Harvey Elliott, I've said since 5 minutes into his debut on a pre-season 3 years ago, the lad's going to be world class, top class, and we need players like that. But you can't have more players who are ready just to fit straight in. And we're going to say, well, we got Diaz, you got Jota, you got Kanate. That's 3 over the last 2 or 3 seasons, right? You need 2 or 3 of them per season, ready to bang and freshen it up and really keep it going. Look at Man City, they're freshened up. Their team is unrecognizable to 3 years ago. There's a few players who are going to be the same, but there's so much freshened up. I don't think we're freshened up as we've gone along, as this team needed, as the players deserved. And I think we're now seeing that effect on them because they've got so many miles in their legs. And these lads have done heroics for us.
And you're right about the hangover from last season. I mean, you think how close,
without a doubt, that's a fact,
to winning everything, and then you go into this season, you don't become a bad team, bad squad overnight to the extent of what we have seen for the first half of the Premier League, and you see it. I mean, you see the performances of Virgil the first 6 months of this season,
who
extremely poor. But
who did we get in the summer?
Nunes.
Carvalho.
Who else?
Carvalho.
Right. So that's one for the future. Who else? There was no Mello. Melon. What the fuck are we doing? Yeah. Melon. Fucking hell. Shocking. Now, so after we've gone through, how many games did we play? Every single game last season, 60 plus games, whatever it was. Don't get me wrong. I think Nunes is going to be a really good player. But is he the sort of player you'd want to bring in to freshen up the squad, freshen up the mentality, and to really push on another level as a driving force? I don't think he is. I think you need more leaders coming in to really freshen it and give people who have gone through wars for us. Okay, I've got someone else who's got my back.
Well, we've spoken about it.
I don't know if I articulated that very well.
Our problem hasn't been. I know it starts from the back in the midfield, but our problem hasn't been scoring goals, right? We've been good with that, and we've spoken about it, and others have numerous times because it's so obvious. The problem is with the midfield. We know that. Everyone knows that. We have a huge issue with the midfield. Fabinho has fallen off a cliff, right? Fabinho has.
Who else has fallen off a cliff and gets a free pass because he was that good?
Virgil is a huge part of it as well.
I'm not saying we should just go bash him, but discussing that drop off just because he's Virgil van Dijk and we all think he was the best player in Premier League history, which he wasn't, by the way. He had maybe the best season in Premier League history for a centre back, but he wasn't the best defender in Premier League history. But because he's like that, we hold him to that level. We think a lot of people, he's amazing. He's still, he's been shocking. You could argue you could drop him and have Matip and Konate in at the moment. You could make that argument. Whether you're going to do it or not, it's a totally different
both
conversation.
get injured, which is the
So
anyway.
I've got to say, like a lot of it all comes in entwined, because you could also say Van Dijk's not being great, but then Fabinho's not being great. So maybe maybe Van Dijk's more isolated, and then you can also say about Trent's not being great because Fabinho's not being great. Thingy's not being.
Why has Fabinho not been great?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Like
I'm going to go back to this one, and this is my take on Fabinho. And I've never been 100% convinced. Now he's a very, very, very good player. Don't get me wrong, but I don't believe he can play the number 6 without having some athleticism alongside him.
He needs
he's
legs.
Always had that. He's had that in Hendo. Now Hendo has been in and out of the team, injured quite a lot this year, so he hasn't had that consistency of legs, athleticism next to him, and I think that's. Fabinho suffered there. Our ball retention in the midfield hasn't been as good either because, I mean, I don't think Thiago's hit his standards either.
And Fabinho is one. He's like Fabinho's like a catch-up player. He's always like he's not very quick on the turn. Fabinho, so that's why you always see him like pulling back to that midfielder or making them last-ditch tackles. He's very slow on the turn. But you're right. When he has players with legs around him and he has space, then he can be a very good player. But I think the player that we haven't mentioned as well, which is go ahead.
You can bump it forwards in other positions of the forwards, not pressing quite high enough, and then the midfielders not filling them spaces in behind. So we're getting broken through so easily. I think our press is nowhere near as compact as it should be.
Well, you lose Mane, right? Mane is a massive lot, and he was like brilliant at pressing, and he was one of the first. He was exceptional at it. And you lose a world-class player like him, and it runs throughout the entire side. So there's numerous issues. Right, they're all pretty obvious. You can see them. So the question is, do we have enough? Will we make signings or is Klopp able to fix with what he has to get us in the top 4 with where we stand and the quality of competition there is to get in the top 4 this season as well?
No, I don't believe we can make up that points for what we've got. How many points have we got? 6 or 7?
Yeah, so we're let me look at it. We're at 22 points. Tottenham at 29. And we have a game in hand.
All right, go Hammer. So let's be generous and say we win that. So 4 points off.
Yeah.
Tough.
Added to that, of course, that Jota and Diaz are out for 2 to 3 months, which is a huge blow.
Is Keita back?
Luckily for you, apparently he is, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone in January. But he just happens to be fit.
He'll be sold or he'll be on the sickbed again. It's no coincidence he's come back the moment the World Cup starts and he knows he doesn't have to do anything. Oh, I'm fit, I can play. Oh, the season starts, I'm down. Absolute crook. Stolen a living for years.
All right, so you think no, Glenn?
Yeah, I think we will.
You think we will?
Yeah, I think we will. I think Nunes is going to be... I think he's going to kick on Nunes. I think he's going to be mustard.
I agree he's going to be a very good player. I just don't know if there's going to be enough around him.
So, do you... And I don't want to go too long into this. We're already going well ahead. But can you see us changing our formation? Or how do you think our formation?
I think he's changed it and it didn't work. I think he's reverted back to the 4-3-3 and we started getting results. We looked better, and I think he'll stick with it. He tried the different formations and it didn't work. I think it's even more so he's going to stick with that now that Jota and Diaz are out, and I think he's going to keep Nunes on that left.
When you say Jota, do you mean Jota?
Jota.
Jota.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jota.
Yeah, Jota. So I think he'll stick with the 4-3-3. I think he's done the experiments; they didn't work. And
what's his forward options left?
That's a huge problem, isn't it?
Bobby Salah, really Nunes. Who else is there?
Carvalho, who didn't perform. He hasn't performed when he started, and he's young. It's understandable.
He's our investment.
You would think we have to bring someone. You would think we have to get someone in January.
Who are we going to spend money on in January for? And this is where I'm sort of
I mean, I don't know.
Hypocritical. I don't think we should spend money big in January on a forward. We need to, if you're going to do it, you've got to get a long signing, but our long signings are traditionally shit.
So, I mean, you're putting a lot on. Well,
But you need
I mean,
someone.
Salah, we know Salah. He's probably going to stay fit. He's very unlikely to get injuries. But Firmino and Nunes, that's a lot to put on them for pretty much most of rest of the season with no real backup. So,
how much do you spend? Who do you get?
I mean, if it was my money, I'd spend a lot, but it's not my money. I don't know. Who would I get? I don't know either.
You'd spend a lot. You're a tight bastard.
There is no obvious solution that's available. We all know January is extremely hard.
You know who we should buy? Harry Kane. He's the best striker in the world, Glenn says.
I didn't say he's the best striker in the world. I'm not as fickle as your mob. So that's why
I've never liked Harry Kane since he cost me $1,000 against Iceland.
Glenn, would you take Harry Kane at Liverpool? Yes or no?
I mean, it's just a fucking stupid question. Like,
no, it's not.
He loves saying stupid questions, doesn't he?
Yeah, would you take him at Liverpool? It's not a stupid question. Would you take him at Liverpool?
No, I wouldn't. Because I fancy.
How much money would you spend on him?
I fancy having Oxlade Chamberlain instead. Fucking hell, dickhead.
How much money would you spend on him? How much would you spend on him?
Lads, come on. This is like fucking ridiculous.
Would you break the wage structure for him?
No, obviously not. We've got Mohamed Salah. I've not said that he's the fucking best player in the world. I just not fucking going off on some mad tangent that he's because he missed the penalty. Now he's fucking hump.
All right, so let's wrap this up. Top four. So what do we think? The top four.
Like talk sport, isn't it, you pair?
Top four. Who's gonna start? Who's gonna win the league?
Man City.
Rob.
Man City.
Is he gone?
Who's going to finish second?
No, who you saying first?
You want to do mine now? Okay, I'm going to say Newcastle just to be completely left field. I'm just going to say Newcastle because it would be brilliant. And I don't want to say Man City again. And I don't think Liverpool are going to win it. So I'm going to say Man City. Right, who's going to I'm going to say Newcastle, sorry. The Geordies. Who's going to finish second?
That's ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
What the fuck is this? Is this fucking Bell NTV? Newcastle going to win the league. Come on, man. Right, okay. Second.
Okay. Newcastle. Who's going to finish second?
Arsenal.
Man City. Who's going to finish third?
United.
Liverpool.
Arsenal. And then fourth?
Newcastle.
Man United.
Liverpool. All right.
So I'm the only one who doesn't have my rose-tinted red Liverpool Anfield glasses on today, right?
What a surprise! You're not a miserable prick.
That's a stupid question, huh?
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and we'll see how our predictions do by the end of the season. But we'll do another one of these very soon. Cheers.